At this time, I'd like to open up the regular session of the City of Crescent City's meeting for Monday, September 17th. Is there anything to report out of closed session?
Madam Mayor, no final actions were taken in closed session.
Thank you. So we will call roll, please.
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Holley,
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Enea,
Here.
and Mayor Murray.
Thank you. Councilmember Holley, would you like to say the pledge?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome to all in the audience, those are watching online, and then those who will be watching Channel 4 later on. And we have a special acknowledgement tonight with our introduction of a new Crescent City Police Department K-9. Chief Plack.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor Murray, council members, City Manager Palazzo, as well as distinguished guests. As you are aware, K-9 Zeus retired due to medical issues and ultimately passed away on February 2nd, 2012. As you can imagine, this left a void within the city, the police department, and our citizens, as many concerned individuals have offered their condolences and have inquired if we could purchase a new K-9 for the department. Naturally, our hopes was to have another K-9 to serve our city, but it didn't appear that that would come to fruition because of the status of the economy. But fortunately, a benefactor who would prefer to remain anonymous was determined to finance a second K-9 unit for our police department. It was difficult, but creative ideas allowed us to start the process and search for the new K-9 handler, as we had to remove an officer from the patrol division to attend the K-9 Academy. After a lengthy process, Officer Gene Vitruba was selected as our newest K-9 handler, and now I would like to introduce Officer Vitruba and his brand new partner, K-9 Aries. The police department has in the past named its K-9s in keeping with the theme of the 12 Greek Olympians, the first being K-9 Zeus, then Apollo, and now Aries. K-9 Aries is a 3.5-year-old German Shepherd, which weighs approximately 70 pounds, and obviously is growing. His original birth name was, and Gene, I'm going to need help with this thing, Quo Vadis von Lungschoch.
Close.
Okay. Hence why we changed his name. In Germany, K-9 Aries was a competition K-9 and was classified as a Schutzhund 3 competitor. Schutzhund class K-9s are trained in the areas of tracking, protection, and obedience, just to name a few. These types of activities are ideal for the K-9's transition into law enforcement. Aries arrived into the United States on July 13th, 2012, only a day before K-9 training began. As such, he did not have a lot of time to adjust to his new assignment, as well as an environment before being introduced to his new handler. At that time, they began the rigors of the training schedule. On July 14th, that training began. Officer Vitruba and K-9 Aries began their 6-week journey together at the English Police Dog Academy in Oxnard, California, the same location where K-9 Zeus and K-9 Apollo were trained. Aries and Officer Vitruba received over 200 hours of training during the patrol portion of the class and 80 hours of narcotic detection. During the narcotic detection training, Aries was certified as a narcotic detection K-9, and he's able to locate methamphetamine, ecstasy, cocaine, heroin, and marijuana in buildings, open areas, and vehicles. During the patrol class, Aries and Officer Vitruba were also certified in handler protection, obviously obedience, and tracking a suspect in buildings and open areas, thus making Aries certification as a dual-purpose canine. Aries and Officer Vitruba graduated from the training on August 24th of this year and returned to the Crescent City Police Department the following day. Aries has adjusted very well to his new home, and the K-9 team has been perfecting on its certifications that they've learned to increase their proficiency as a K-9 team and serve in our community. As a matter of fact, the first few nights this team was on patrol together, 3 vehicles have been pulled over, and Aries discovered narcotic paraphernalia, which I might add would have been gone undetected if he was not on the job. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you your brand new K-9 unit for the Crescent City Police Department, K-9 Aries. Did you want to say anything? The council like to say anything?
Hi, Aries.
He does have a lot of the similar markings as Zeus does. I don't know how closely related they are, however, he does have striking similarities. So
He's a beautiful dog.
he is a youth.
And I would like to thank the council and Mayor Murray, Chief Black, and citizens in the community of Crescent City for giving me this opportunity to be able to work closely with the K-9. He's a very special animal, and I hope that we can make him proud in the near future here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We hope to see more of him. Okay. I think he was staring at Bob the whole time. Yeah. We'll move on to the consent calendar. We have, let's see, how many items? We have 10 items on the consent calendar. I won't read them all, but is there any public comment on any of them? Or questions, technical questions from the council? Mr. Salisbury?
Jesse Salisbury, Crescent City. I was interested in what's going on with number 9. What is the public access easement? Is that for us? Is that for the property owner? What exactly was that?
That's the same thing we had about 2 years ago between the hotel on Front Street and the condos that were going to be built. That's public access to the beach, and they're just finalizing it now.
No,
Just to put it in the, yeah, we approved
It's like
that.
our conscription rights? Is that?
Yeah,
is that what
walk
it
through,
is?
it's public access to make sure there's always public access there.
Okay, thank you.
Because we don't know what's going to happen with that property in the future.
And I think we had to make sure that there was enough room for the fire trucks and whatnot to get down there to the
Yeah.
beach in case there were fires.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other public comment? Go ahead.
Is that okay? Yeah, I'll take it loud. Measure A, my name is Janice Wilson,
This is public comment for the consent agenda. It's not regular public comment.
not regular.
It'll
okay.
be-
No,
shortly.
this is just for the consent agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will bring it back to the council. What's your pleasure?
I'll move for approval of the consent calendar items 2 through 10.
I'll second that motion.
Could you please poll a vote?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Holley,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Enea,
Yes.
and Mayor Murray.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we have no reports or presentations, and so we will adjourn to the Housing Authority, item number 11, and we have Megan here for a report. Oh, and could you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Director Holley,
Here?
Vice Chair Enea,
Here.
and Chairwoman Murray.
Here, thank you.
This is just...
Okay, I'm sorry. Is there any public comment on the regular Crescent City Housing Authority items? Seeing none, and we will move on to the consent calendar.
I move for the consent calendar.
Second on the consent calendar for the Housing Authority.
Could you please pull the vote?
Yes, ma'am. Director Holley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Enea,
Yes.
Chairwoman Murray.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Megan, for being here. Sorry, I missed your meeting last week. On to item number 12, which, let's see, we have the public comment first. Public comment. Any member of the audience is invited to address the City Council on any matter that is within the jurisdiction of the City of Crescent City. Comments of public interest or on matters appearing on the agenda are accepted. Note, however, that the council is not able to undertake extended discussion or act on non-agendized items. Such items can be referred to staff for appropriate action, which may include placement on a future agenda. Any comments that are not at the microphone are out of order and will not be part of the public record. After receiving recognition from myself, please state your name and if you're a city or county resident. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Is there any public comment?
My name is Janice Wilson. I'm a county resident. Measure A is about safety because the agency in charge of verifying that safety is lying to the public. It is in place to serve the National Sanitation Foundation, NSF for short, has admitted it certifies HFSA fluoride without the required data. This is fraud. We are buying a product that has been fraudulently certified. They have admitted that tested brand batches of this product have shown levels of arsenic or the maximum contaminant level allowed in our water. Since Crescent City doesn't test daily for arsenic, but once every 9 years, there is a great chance that we have had days, perhaps many days, where our water contained more arsenic than is safe. The safe level of arsenic is 0. Then there's a lead factor, the toxicology studies that producers refuse to supply to NSF show that this product increases lead in the blood of our children. We cannot ignore this data just because the NSF has ignored this data. By the way, arsenic is a carcinogen. It causes lung cancer, which we are number 11 in our country for. And I'd like to say one thing about evidence. When you decide that this product is safe and effective because your kids consumed it and nothing bad happened to them, this is called anecdotal evidence. You're ignoring all the other that consumed it and were harmed. Anecdotal evidence is not scientific. How you can sit there and ask us to provide all the scientific data which you ignore and then turn around and base your opinions on nothing more than someone you know that didn't get hurt. So it's okay. You need to live up to the standards you ask of others. You can't at least look at the studies which have been provided to you. If not, then you don't deserve to sit in those chairs, and hopefully you will be voted out and replaced. Thank you.
Is there other public comment?
Jesse Salisbury, Crescent City. In the same press release where the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention proclaimed fluoride as one of the 10 greatest public achievements of the 20th century, they also admitted that fluoride's effects were topical and not systemic. That means that we don't need to swallow the fluoride. Only calcium fluoride occurs naturally in water. Excuse me. And it has never been used for fluoridation. Silicofluorides that we add to our water never occur naturally in nature, and they are 85 times more toxic than naturally occurring calcium fluoride. Fluoride and its salts are one of the 5 chemical categories selected for reviews by the California Proposition 65 Cancer Hazard Identification Committee because studies have revealed a link between ingested fluoride and cancer. Many of our largest cities have been fluoridated for decades, yet still suffer from rampant tooth decay. Crescent City is one of these cities, with a 70% prevalence of tooth decay compared to a 30% natural average. The cause is diet, economics, and lack of dental care. Money would be better spent providing better access to dental care for low-income families. We don't need to be polluting 100% of our water when only 1/10 of 1% even goes into our mouth. My grass doesn't need fluoride. Water fluoridation is a relic of the 50s and should be discarded just as we ended lead paint, leaded gasoline, asbestos, DDT, and many others. As a nation, we have decided to keep toxic chemicals out of our water supply. That's why we have a Safe Drinking Water Act. Crescent City cannot allow a chemical in the water that harms anyone. Please vote yes on A. I'm not really sure how much of this stuff that we use a year. I did find come across an invoice for some stuff. It's 15,980 pounds of this toxic radioactive mess. They spent $7,151 on it. And it must not be a food because they taxed us $600. At our last meeting, for clarification purposes, City Attorney Bob Black stated that the last time the voters spoke in regard to fluoride, is that 2 minutes? No, 27 seconds. Okay. Well, City Attorney Black stated that the City Council's denied ability to override the vote of the people. Yet, the record shows that in 1960, the people voted 183 yes for fluoride and 370 no. But yet the city turned around and put the fluoride in the water anyway. So, yes, you can take it out of the water. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment. We have no public hearings and we have no continuing business, no new business, so we are on to council items, legislative matters. Are there any legislative matters to report out, Mr. Palazzo?
I have no updates on that.
Okay. Any reports from our council members?
Just like to say that between last meeting and this meeting, I attended the local transportation commission meeting, tri-agency meeting, LAFCO meeting, and particularly interested in the conference that we attended in San Diego. That had a lot of good information. I attended workshops on consolidation and regionalization of services. A lot of the theme had to do with the tough economic times that all the cities are going through. There was significant discussion regarding bankruptcies that some cities are experiencing and the impact, the short and long range impact of those bankruptcies and how that's kind of changed the the playing field when it comes to negotiations and a lot of different things. So that each workshop seemed to just naturally move that in those directions, and it was good to hear the current thinking statewide. Was able to go to a workshop on paperless meetings, and I think that's an interesting idea if we ever get to a place where we have a little money available and we can move toward technology. And as much as I like these binders, it would be nice not misplace them. I always misplace them, displace them.
We have been discussing that amongst,
Okay.
Ms. Patch and Fritz, and so hopefully
Great.
at some point we'll be going that route.
And I put my card in the drawing for us to get the computer so we
Yeah.
could go paperless, but what
Yeah.
county was it that won some?
We came in second, I think.
Yeah, anyway, Mayor Pro, oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to say that also there was a lot of discussion, and it seems to hit every workshop we went in, there was discussion about pension reform. And now that we know that the governor has signed some pension reform, that there'll be more clarity over time, but that's really changing the landscape of public employment, and it's something we're going to have to be dealing with here at the city. So I appreciated the opportunity to go to that conference. In addition to the workshops, we were able to have access to vendors, a whole, what would you call it? A whole arena full of vendors, and it was quite interesting talking with them and finding out what they have to offer and the kinds of things that they do. So anyway, thank you, and it was a good trip.
Pro Tem?
I attended the last 3 weeks, we attended the solid waste meeting, as we all did. And I also went to that conference. It was very enlightening, as it is whenever I attend there. And besides the pension reform, we went to, at least I did, went to the redevelopment seminar, which was attended by a lot of people. And redevelopment may be redefined in other names, and a lot of people think it's going to be coming back because it helps the community, and I can't wait for it to come back. It helps in housing, it helps in business starts, and it helps put new buildings or fix buildings that need to be fixed. And so redevelopment, even though currently is not around, I look for it to come back, and so do a lot of people. But it was a very good meeting.
It was a great meeting, and our city manager also joined us, and Kelly Shalong, our council member. What is that new term for redevelopment? It's IFC, or I can't remember what the new term is. Yeah, I don't remember what it is, but might not be happening for a while. But AB 1484, apparently the legislation has no appetite to do any revision to that, unfortunately, much to Ken McDonald's chagrin, I'm sure. But it's a big topic, and the league it was very well attended. It was very well organized, and we even had one of our local youth, Dalton Brayburn, who attends the University of San Diego. He's Jerry and Jackie Cochran's grandson. He was able to attend the resolution section, so he's a political science major, and he also was Mike Thompson's intern this last summer, so we got to have a youth there representing the city of Crescent City as well. So I went to the local transportation commission meeting and the Delanort solid waste, and we also had another oversight for RDA. And then I had the opportunity to meet with the Dutra Group, who is redoing the harbor, and if anybody is interested in going and visiting to see how they're doing, it's a state-of-the-art way they're setting the pilings in with the docks. It's the first time they've done it in the lower 48 states, but they've done it in quite a number of cities in Alaska. And so it's a very interesting process. So I'm sure that they would be interested in having people stop by. Their offices at the harbor where Rika Blue's old ceramic shop used to be.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Kathryn, I wanted to mention, I went and met with those folks too, and it was a very interesting meeting, very brief, but very interesting. I did suggest to them, and they agreed, that as they get a little further along, they would come to a city council meeting and maybe give us a video or some pictures and show us what the action is that's going on down there in the harbor.
And they're definitely shooting to have enough docks for this coming crab season, so that's very exciting.
You know, I'd like to add to that too. I attended the harbor safety meeting, and the Dutra foreman was there, and they are rushing to complete to have enough docks available for the crab season, because their permit is only through November 15th, and then they have to stop for the season, and they have to come back in 6 months or so to finish the rest. So they're hurrying to do at least 2 or 3 docks, and weather permitting, they'll get those done so the boats can be in there before the permit ends for this year.
And then I'd like to remind our city staff that we're having a picnic on Friday, the 21st, down at Howe Park for all the city staff. And I think that our city manager is going to be flipping burgers, so everybody ought to take advantage of that and have a good time. And with that, I think we're adjourned. To our next meeting, which is October 1st. Thank you for being here.